Welcome to The Explainer. I am so glad you're joining us today because honestly, the stakes literally could not be higher. We are standing right on the edge of this monumental transition in human history. We're moving away from the old trial and error traditional medicine, and we are accelerating straight into the era of AI-driven, highly personalized healthcare. Today, we're talking about algorithmic longevity and ultimately the complete death of average medicine. And this isn't just about massive healthcare systems changing. This is about your life, your very own DNA, and exactly how you are going to age. Okay, imagine this for a second. What if the absolute last doctor you ever see isn't actually a human being, but a super intelligent algorithm that literally knows your DNA better than you do? It's a pretty provocative thought, right? But the truth is, we are officially entering an era where generic healthcare is completely dead. Today, we're going to explore exactly how AI is actively tailoring medicine to your exact genetic code. And it's not doing this just to treat you when you get sick, but to actually stop diseases before they can even start. This is really all about your biological future. Part 1. The last human doctor in your biological future. Look, I know this sounds like pure science fiction, but I promise you it's not. Right now, neural networks are actively parsing genomic data as we speak. Just think about the sheer massive volume of information packed inside your DNA. A human doctor, no matter how brilliant they are, just simply cannot process that scale of data in real time. But an advanced AI? It absolutely can. It sweeps through your exact genetic code to identify hidden risks, and it actually puts up roadblocks before a chronic illness can even take root. It is quite literally the ultimate form of biological security. Which brings us to part 2, the death of average and leaving behind the one-size-fits-all era. So, for decades, our whole system has relied on what's called the blockbuster drug model. Basically, pharmaceutical companies created drugs designed for the statistical average person. But here's the massive problem with that. The perfectly average human doesn't actually exist. Your genetics are entirely unique to you. Trying to use these generic, one-size-fits-all treatments without algorithmic accuracy, well, it's kind of like trying to unlock a highly complex biometric safe using a cheap plastic master key. Sure, sometimes you might force the lock, but mostly it just causes collateral damage, or it simply doesn't work at all. And that brings us to a really vital distinction. For basically a century, we have relied entirely on reactive sick care. You know the drill, you wait until you feel terrible, the symptoms pop up, and only then do you try to scramble and fix the damage. It is exhausting and it's fundamentally flawed. But the alternative we're looking at now is proactive, AI-managed wellness protocols. This is a high-stakes, super energetic future where your health is being continuously monitored and optimized by predictive computing. We are finally moving from just reacting to sickness to actively defending our wellness. All right. Part 3. Decoding your genetic future, where neural networks meet your DNA. The actual scientific synthesis driving this whole revolution is honestly quite elegant. It's almost like a giant puzzle coming together. On one side, we have molecular biology, which is our incredibly deep and constantly expanding understanding of the human genome and how our individual cells operate. Then on the flip side, we have machine learning, bringing this raw, massive computational power to recognize impossibly complex patterns. When you synthesize those two fields together, the result is predictive precision. It's the ability to know exactly what will happen inside your body and precisely what customized intervention is required to optimize it. Now, we are talking about the year 2026, not 2050, not some far-off, unimaginable future. Current 2026 data actually proves that this shift is already here right now. Machine learning is successfully zeroing in on unique genetic markers with a level of accuracy we have never seen before. Algorithms are actively predicting disease onset long before a patient ever feels a single symptom. The technology is matured, the data is flowing, and the era of average medicine is officially bleeding out. Let's break down how this actually builds a completely new algorithmic lifespan. Imagine we're at year 0, and a unique genetic marker for a chronic illness is flagged by a neural network. Normally, in the old system, that disease would just lurk in the shadows for decades. But now, at year 1, we have AI stepping in, prescribing a hyper-individualized protocol to completely neutralize that threat. So by year 20 and beyond, which is exactly when traditional sick care would finally start noticing the symptoms, the disease has already been totally prevented. The AI is basically a detective that hunts the threat down decades early. Moving on to part 4, your algorithmic longevity and extending human performance.
So, the absolute crucial takeaway here is that these AI managed wellness protocols are going to completely replace generic treatments. We're talking about hyper individualized care built strictly and entirely for your DNA. But listen, this isn't just about avoiding sickness. It's so much bigger than that. It is about extending the absolute biological peak of human performance. Just imagine waking up every single day knowing for a fact that your diet, your supplements, your exercise, and your cellular therapeutics are perfectly calibrated by an advanced AI model, calibrated to keep you operating at your absolute physical and mental peak far, far longer into your life than nature originally intended.
I want to leave you with a thought to really chew on. We've talked about the death of the old blockbuster drug model, and we've explored the amazing promise of predictive precision. But getting there? It requires a massive, massive shift in trust. Ask yourself honestly, are you truly ready to surrender the management of your health to an algorithm if it means extending your biological peak and living longer? Because that is the ultimate trade-off in this brand new era of algorithmic longevity. Take some time and really think about what that means for your own future. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.